Our planet is scattered with places that were once centers of human life, bustling with commerce, echoing with voices, shaped by ambition. Yet today, many of these places stand silent, their stories whispered only by the wind and the waves. These are the forgotten islands, jewels of the sea that have been lost to time, disaster, or the relentless march of progress. They are places where human history has been written, erased, and then rewritten by the patient hand of nature. In this journey we will explore 5 such islands, each a world unto itself, each with a fascinating and often haunting history. We will travel from the warm waters of the Red Sea to the shadow of New York City, and across the globe to the volcanic shores of Japan. These are not just empty plots of land, they are living museums, time capsules holding the dreams and tragedies of those who once called them home. What happens when humanity steps away and leaves its creations behind? Join me as we count down 5 of the world's most captivating abandoned islands. We will uncover tales of ancient trade, devastating disease, natural fury, and dark secrets. We will witness how, in the absence of people, life finds a way to return, often in the most unexpected forms. Our exploration begins now, into these realms where the past is ever present and nature is reclaiming its dominion. Our journey begins here, on the Red Sea coast of Sudan. This is Swakan Island, a place that for 3 millennia was a vital artery of trade and culture. It was a port of immense strategic importance, a gateway connecting Africa to Arabia and beyond. Pharaohs, Roman emperors, and Ottoman sultans all knew its name and valued its position. The wealth that flowed through this island was staggering, and it was reflected in the very fabric of the city that rose from its shores. The architecture of Swakan is, or rather was, utterly unique. The prosperous merchants who lived here constructed magnificent buildings, not from wood or common stone, but from the coral of the sea itself. Intricate latticework, soaring archways, and grand villas were all fashioned from this marine material, giving the city a luminous, otherworldly appearance. It was a city that seemed to have emerged directly from the ocean, a testament to the ingenuity and prosperity of its inhabitants. For centuries, Swakan was the premier port of the Red Sea. It was the departure point for countless pilgrims on their way to Mecca, a bustling hub where spices, ivory, and gold were traded. Its narrow streets would have been a kaleidoscope of sights and sounds, filled with people from every corner of the known world. The very air would have hummed with the energy of commerce and the mingling of different cultures, a vibrant tapestry of human endeavor. But the turn of the 20th century brought a sudden and irreversible change. A new, deeper port was constructed just to the north, Port Sudan. It was a modern marvel, capable of accommodating the larger steamships that were now dominating global trade. Swakan's shallow harbor, once its strength, became its downfall. The shipping routes, the lifeblood of the island, were diverted. The flow of wealth slowed to a trickle, and then stopped. Altogether. The people followed the money. Families who had lived on Swakan for generations packed their belongings and left for the new opportunities in Port Sudan. The grand coral houses were abandoned one by one. The bustling marketplaces fell silent. The call to prayer that once echoed through the city was replaced by the sound of the wind whistling through empty windows and the gentle lapping of waves against the foundations. Today, Swakan is a ghost of its former self. The magnificent coral buildings are crumbling, their intricate details slowly being eroded by the salt and the sun. It stands as a haunting ruin, a skeleton of a city bleached by time. Nature is slowly reclaiming what was taken from the sea, with vegetation creeping through the cracks and birds nesting in the halls where merchants once counted their fortunes. It is a powerful, silent monument to the shifting tides of history and the impermanence of human grandeur. We now travel across the world to a place in the shadow of one of humanity's busiest creations. Here, in New York City's East River, lies North Brother Island. For over a century, this 20-acre patch of land was a place of exile and isolation, a repository for the city's sick, its addicted, and its dead. Its proximity to the metropolis of Manhattan is jarring, a place of enforced solitude within sight of millions. Its story as a place of quarantine began in the late 19th century when Riverside Hospital was relocated here. Its purpose was to isolate patients with highly contagious diseases like smallpox, tuberculosis, and typhus. This is where the island's most famous, or rather infamous, resident enters the story. Mary Mallon, an asymptomatic carrier of typhoid fever, was forcibly quarantined here on 2 separate occasions for a total of nearly 3 decades. Typhoid Mary, as she became known, died on this island, a prisoner of her own biology. The island's history is steeped in tragedy. In 1904, the steamship General Slocum caught fire and ran aground on its shores. Over 1,000 people, mostly German immigrants on a church outing, lost their lives in the disaster. The island's hospital staff pulled bodies from the water for days, a grim task that forever marked this small piece of land. The sounds of that day, the panic and the grief, seem to linger in the silence that now pervades the island. After World War II, the island found a new, though equally troubled, purpose. It was used as housing for war veterans and their families, but this was short-lived. Its final incarnation was as a treatment center for adolescent drug addicts. Reports from this time speak of a grim, isolated facility where patients were often held against their will. The program was plagued by corruption, and ultimately failed. And, in 1963, the island was abandoned for good. For over half a century, North Brother Island has been left entirely to its own devices. With no human intervention, nature has staged a spectacular reclamation. Dense forests have grown where there were once hospital wards and patient grounds. The buildings themselves are being slowly dismantled by vines and tree roots, their brick walls crumbling and roofs collapsing inward. It is a post-apocalyptic scene, a vision of what a great city might look like after humanity has vanished. Today, the island is a designated bird sanctuary, strictly off-limits to the public. The eerie, overgrown ruins of Riverside Hospital stand as a silent testament to a difficult chapter in New York's history. It is a place of ghosts, the ghost of Typhoid Mary, the victims of the General Slocum, and the countless others who lived and died in isolation. All while the vibrant, living city bustled just a stone's throw away across the water. Chapter 3. Number 3. Miyake-jima, the Gas Mask Island. Our next destination takes us to the Pacific Ring of Fire, a region of immense geological power. This is Miyake-jima, one of Japan's Izu Islands. It is a place of dramatic beauty, with lush green slopes and rugged coastlines. But this beauty masks a constant and deadly threat. The island is, in fact, the exposed peak of an active stratovolcano, Mount Oyama, which has a habit of erupting with violent frequency. Throughout its history, the inhabitants of Miyake-jima have lived in a precarious balance with the volcano. They have farmed its fertile slopes and fished its rich waters, all while knowing that at any moment their world could be torn apart by fire and ash. Eruptions have been recorded regularly for centuries, each one reshaping the island and forcing its residents to adapt or flee. It is a life lived on a knife's edge, a constant negotiation with the raw power of the earth. This delicate balance was shattered in the year 2000. After a period of seismic activity, Mount Oyama erupted spectacularly. But this was not just an eruption of lava and ash. The volcano began to release enormous toxic quantities of sulfur dioxide gas from its summit. The levels were so high that they made the very air poisonous, rendering large parts of the island completely uninhabitable. The government had no choice but to order a full evacuation. For more than 4 years, Miyake-jima was a ghost island. Its 3,600 residents were scattered across mainland Japan, leaving behind their homes, their businesses, and their lives. The island was left to the volcano. The poisonous gas, heavier than air, pooled in the low-lying areas, killing vegetation and creating a surreal, barren landscape. The silence was broken only by the hiss of gas vents and the automated sirens that would blare to warn of dangerous spikes in sulfur levels. In 2005, residents were permitted to return, but life would never be the same. A significant portion of the island remains permanently off-limits, a deserted zone where the gas concentration is still lethal. For those who did come back, a new reality set in. They are required by law to carry a gas mask with them at all times. They have learned to live with the constant smell of sulfur, and the ever-present threat of the next siren, the next warning to don their masks or seek shelter. Visiting Miyakojima today is a strange and unsettling experience. One can drive through lush, inhabited villages, and then, minutes later, enter an abandoned, rust-colored wasteland where dead trees stand like skeletons. The abandoned schools, rusting cars, and silent homes in the evacuation zone are a stark reminder of the volcano's power. It is a partially abandoned island, a community clinging to life on one side, while the other side has been surrendered to the toxic breath of the mountain. Chapter 4. Number 2. Ilha da Queimada Grande, the Serpent Sanctuary. We now venture to the coast of Brazil, to an island that appears from a distance to be an idyllic paradise. Ilha da Queimada Grande, with its lush rainforest and rocky shores, looks like the perfect tropical getaway. But this island hides a secret so terrifying that the Brazilian government has forbidden anyone from landing here. This place is known by another, more fitting name, Snake Island. The island is home to one of the highest concentrations of venomous snakes anywhere in the world. It is the exclusive domain of the golden lancehead viper, a species found nowhere else on Earth. Isolated from the mainland thousands of years ago when sea levels rose, the snakes trapped here evolved differently. With no ground-level prey, they adapted to hunt the migratory birds that rest on the island, developing an incredibly potent, fast-acting venom capable of killing a bird before it can fly away. Estimates of the snake population vary, but some studies have suggested there could be as many as 1 to 5 snakes per square meter in some areas. They are everywhere, in the undergrowth, on the ground, and coiled in the branches of trees overhead. The golden lancehead's venom is horrifyingly effective. It is a hemotoxin that can melt human flesh, cause kidney failure, brain hemorrhaging, and death, often in under an hour. There is no escape and little hope for anyone bitten here. Humanity has tried to conquer this island, and has failed spectacularly. There are legends of a banana plantation owner who moved his family here, only for them to be discovered days later, having been overcome by the vipers. A more documented attempt involved the construction of a lighthouse. The first lighthouse keeper, it is said, was killed along with his entire family when snakes entered their home through the windows. His replacement, a lone keeper, fared no better. The last lighthouse keeper's story is a chilling one. According to local lore, he would go out to gather bananas, only to be bitten. In a panic, he tried to run back to his boat, but was bitten again and again along the way. He was found, dead, in a pool of his own blood on the shore. After these tragedies, the lighthouse was automated, and a Navy team now makes a single, perilous trip each year to perform maintenance, a task surely undertaken with extreme caution. Ilha da Queimada Grande is a stark example of an ecosystem where humans are not at the top of the food chain. It is a place that has utterly resisted colonization. It remains an abandoned, forbidden fortress of nature ruled by a uniquely deadly predator. The island stands as a potent and terrifying reminder that there are still corners of our world that are, and perhaps should remain, completely wild and untouched by human feet. Chapter 5. Number 1. Okunoshima, the island of dark secrets and cuddly rabbits. For our final destination, we return to Japan, to an island in the inland sea with a deeply schizophrenic identity. To the thousands of tourists who visit today, Okunoshima is known as Usagi-jima, or Rabbit Island. It is a whimsical place where hordes of friendly, tame rabbits swarm visitors, begging for food. It seems like an innocent paradise, a delightful curiosity. But this picture of charm and fluffiness conceals a history that is profoundly dark. During the Second World War, this small, seemingly insignificant island was chosen for a top-secret and sinister purpose. It was erased from official maps, its existence denied. Here, the Japanese Imperial Army built a factory to produce chemical weapons. From 1929 to 1945, workers on Okunoshima manufactured thousands of tons of poison gas, including mustard gas and phosgene, in direct violation of the Geneva Protocol. The secrecy surrounding the project was absolute. The factory workers, many of whom were unaware of the true nature of their work, suffered from exposure to the toxic chemicals, leading to horrific illnesses and long-term health problems. The conditions were grim, and the island's purpose was one of the darkest secrets of the war. At the end of the conflict, the Allied occupation forces ordered the chemical stockpiles to be destroyed and the facilities dismantled. The island's secret was buried. For decades, Okunoshima was left abandoned. The poison gas factory fell into ruin, its empty shells a silent testament to the horrors it once produced. The island was a contaminated, forgotten place. And then, something strange began to happen. Rabbits started to appear, and their population grew, and grew, and grew. Their exact origin is a matter of debate. One theory suggests they are descendants of test subjects used in the chemical labs, set free by workers at the end of the war. Another, more probable theory is that a group of schoolchildren released a handful of rabbits here in the 1970s. With no natural predators on the island, their population exploded. They have become the island's main inhabitants and its primary tourist attraction. The contrast is almost beyond belief. Visitors now wander through the grounds, feeding adorable rabbits, often just meters away from the derelict, skeletal remains of the poison gas factory. Okunoshima exists in a state of profound duality. It is a place where the innocence of nature has completely overgrown a site of human malevolence. The cheerful rabbits hop around the Poison Gas Museum, which now stands to educate visitors about the island's terrible past. It is our #1 abandoned island because nowhere else is the line between a haunting history and a strange new life so starkly and surreally drawn. It is a place of secrets, tragedy, and the overwhelming and perhaps redemptive power of nature. Outro. From the coral ruins of Swakan to the rabbit-covered grounds of Okunoshima, each of these islands tells a profound story. They are tales of commerce and quarantine, of nature's fury and humanity's darkest impulses. We have seen how a thriving port can become a ghost city, how a place of healing can become a tomb, and how even the most terrifying secrets can eventually be overgrown by new, unexpected life. These islands are not merely abandoned. They are chapters of our own history left open for the elements to read. They serve as powerful reminders of the dynamic between human ambition and the enduring power of the natural world. Whether through the slow erosion of time, a sudden cataclysm, or the simple shifting of priorities, nature is always waiting to reclaim what was once hers. The stories of these places, of Typhoid Mary, of the Golden Lanceheads, of the gas mask citizens, are cautionary tales, but they are also stories of resilience, both human and ecological. They show us that even in silence and decay, there is a story to be told. Which of these forgotten islands did you find the most captivating? Do you know of other abandoned places with histories that deserve to be remembered? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We are always searching for new stories of the world's forgotten corners. Thank you for joining us on this exploration. If you wish to journey to more places lost to time, be sure to subscribe to Discoveria and join our community of explorers. Until next time, keep seeking the stories that hide in plain sight.